Good morning. So I wanted to come on here and answer some of you guys' questions. Some of you guys have been asking me ever since this major 7.8 earthquake happened in Turkey. Some of you guys have been asking me about what I shared on my community post a couple days ago where I had a dream about an earthquake. And just, some of you have been asking, do I think that's related? What was the details of that dream? So when I say I had a dream about an earthquake, you guys, I don't even think dream is the right word. I have never in my life had a dream or a vision like this one before in my entire life. I honestly think that my spirit was off somewhere else and the Lord was showing me something. I feel like it's kind of like in the Bible when they say, I was in the spirit on the Lord's day, or just they were off in the spirit. I always wondered exactly what that meant. I think this is pretty similar to that because normally when I have a dream where it's so realistic and vivid and lifelike, I will wake up and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe that was a dream, and I will realize that I had been dreaming. And this wasn't like that. There was no defining moment between the dream or vision or whatever it was and reality. I didn't even know that I had been asleep. Everything just bled over into reality, and everything that was going on in this dream was actually going on in real life. So what happened was the night before, my husband was snoring pretty badly, so I moved to the couch. So I went to sleep in the living room, and my husband when my husband left for work the next morning, I said goodbye to him and all that, and then he left, and then apparently this must have been when I dozed off, or the Lord just came to me and showed me a vision that was so real, unlike anything I've ever experienced. At some point, that's when this happened. I don't remember falling asleep. I don't remember dozing off. I was just laying there on the couch, just thinking about the day or whatever and waiting for the little ones to wake up. And next thing I know, literally this vision, I don't know what to call it, started, and it was whatever I was doing right then was happening. So I was laying on the couch in this dream or vision, and the couch started to sway back and forth exactly like it did back in 2011 when DC had a 5.0 earthquake or something, and we were able to feel it where I live, and I live I think 4 or 5 hours away from DC. That was my first ever experience with an earthquake. Hold on one second. Okay, yeah, that was my first experience ever with an earthquake. I live in West Virginia and we don't have earthquakes. Nobody around us ever has earthquakes, but I think it was August 2011, we happened to feel that. And at the time that it took place, I was sitting on my couch in my living room, and I felt the couch swaying side to side and just felt the ground moving. And when it did that, I remember freaking out, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I would imagine an earthquake to feel like. But we live in West Virginia. We don't have earthquakes. And I remember texting my sister who was at work, and I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, my house just shook. Did you guys experience that where you're at? And she's like, yeah, there was an earthquake in Washington, DC. And so that is what happened during my first and only ever experience with an earthquake. I say first because, you guys, this experience that I had was so real. I have to remind myself, I didn't really feel that. I didn't really experience this. So back in 2011, when all of that happened, it happened the same way in this dream. I was on the couch, it was swaying back and forth. I picked up my phone and I texted my sister, and I just said the same thing that I did before. And then at some point I woke up or came out of it, but I didn't realize it. There was no realization of, oh, I just had a dream or I had a vision about an earthquake. I literally, and still to this day, if one particular thing hadn't happened, I would be convinced that it did happen. So at some point I came out of it around this time, I guess. And I was like, oh my gosh, we just had another earthquake. What's going on? I need to turn on the news. I need to pull up Facebook. There was nothing on Facebook. My phone wasn't blowing up. No one was calling me or texting me. And I was like, let me grab my phone and see if my sister answered me, if she felt that. And that was the point that I realized this never happened. Because when I came out of my bedroom to sleep on the couch, I left my phone in my bedroom on my nightstand. So when I realized that my phone wasn't even in the room with me, it literally was almost traumatizing to me to realize that this whole thing never actually happened. It was that real. It wasn't like one of those dreams that you have where it's like, oh wow, it was so realistic, and then you kind of get over it really quick. This was like traumatizing. Like, I was somewhere else. I saw this happen. I felt it. I texted my sister. Everything happened exactly like it did the first time with the only time with the Washington, D.C. earthquake. So yeah, that took a little bit of time to get over that, and I didn't have anybody to talk to about that, and I just decided really to keep it to myself, other than a couple Christian friends. So when I picked up my phone and I was scrolling through my texts to make sure that I didn't send my sister something about we just had an earthquake and there was nothing on the news or the media or Facebook about an earthquake, it was like an all-day thing trying to get that to come to terms with that. And I was like, the Lord is showing me something with this vision, I guess, but I don't know what. So I had posted on the community post, I said, normally whenever I dream about earthquakes, it's usually symbolizing that there's something in the world, on the world stage, about to be shaken up. For me, that's usually how it goes. But I was thinking, the fact that this was so realistic and that things happened exactly as they did before when I experienced an earthquake, step by step, I was on the couch, I texted my sister, the room was swaying. The fact that the details were literally carbon copy, and the fact that there was no defining moment of when I came out of this dream or vision, it was all fluid, it just bled over into reality. I had a hunch that this might be referring to a literal earthquake, and I had made a video saying that, but I never got around to uploading it, so I don't know if that was related to this earthquake in Turkey, but they said that it literally rang the earth like a bell, and when it got to Buffalo, New York, they had an earthquake. I didn't know about that, but I just heard that on Steve Fletcher's channel. So I'm just kind of now catching up with things. I've been kind of busy like a chicken with my head cut off lately, trying to get a lot of things done. I'm currently about to take the baby to an appointment, trying to finish getting ready here. So yeah, I'm just now catching up with this and wanted to address this to you guys who have been asking. I don't know if they're related or not, but apparently it was a pretty big, pretty serious earthquake. And if you want to go over to Steve Fletcher's channel, he has a lot of information and insight on that I couldn't repeat to you if I tried. So if you haven't already, if you're not already subscribed to him, he always has pretty good information about these kind of things. So I guess judge for yourself if you think they are related, and if they are, there is a reason why the Lord showed me this, and it could possibly be, you know, the beginning of something bigger. Also, this is the day before the supposed Chinese spy balloon came on the news, and there was all that craziness about that. So I remember when I heard about this balloon, or balloons, I guess there was multiple ones. When I heard that, I was like, I wonder if this is what is going to literally like shake up something on the world stage. Maybe this is the meaning of the earthquake vision that I had. But now, ever since this major Turkey earthquake, and they're talking about how it was ringing like a bell, like an alarm, and just sending like ripples around the world and causing other earthquakes, I feel like there's probably more to come from that, and this isn't the end of that or the last that we will hear about that. And Steve also makes connections to how, like I said, I'm just now catching up on all this stuff. Something about a green comet up in space when it passed over or something is pretty much exactly the same time that the earthquake hit. So I know a lot of us have been shown stuff about comets and asteroids and meteors and things like that. So I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if it's related or what, but you guys, I have never experienced anything like this before, and I like I said, had I not realized that I never sent that text message to my sister, I would have believed that I really did experience another earthquake in my living room. So I feel like the Lord added that detail in there so that I wouldn't drive myself crazy or think that I was crazy. But it feels like the dreams and visions that I have are getting stronger and more realistic. Like, there's a very fine line between the reality that I'm in right now and when I have a dream or vision. They are getting very very lifelike. So that is all I had to share. There was one other thing I wanted to mention, but I can't remember what it was right now. But I haven't had any further dreams or anything ever since that. But for those of you who were asking for me to explain it a little bit more, that's what it was. It was like a lifelike dream or vision that there was just no dividing point between the two. There was no realization that I had been having a dream or a vision and that now I'm awake or whatever. It just, I don't know how long I would have gone throughout the day thinking that that was real. So, all right, I need to get off here and finish getting ready, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.